Yeah.
Do you have sense? We don't have our Tuesday reading during the summer. Oh, nice. A little free time then in the summer, so that's good. Well, thank you all for your graciousness with my time this morning. We're going to start just in a simple seated position and collecting our thoughts. Me as well. This morning. Just taking some nice deep breaths. As I pull up our here. So go ahead and think about relaxing your shoulders down, about sitting nice and tall, about breathing deeply. Kind of letting all of those thoughts float away, any thoughts that are coming into your mind. And then start to think about your breath as it comes into your lungs. So almost like if you could watch your breath as it goes in through your nose, down into your lungs, and out into your belly space. Like if your breath was maybe tinted a certain color. Maybe it's blue, and you can see that blue kind of filling up your lungs and your belly space. And then following it out as you exhale. Maybe feeling that expand into your sides as well. And then on your next breath, I'm going to encourage you to think and follow that breath down into your lungs, through your belly space, out into your sides, and then if you can, take a little bit more breath in to feel the back side of the lungs also filling up space. And then exhale when you're ready. And just allowing your breath to kind of come to a normal flow. Go ahead and start to gently twist to one side. We're going to take the left arm across the body to the right knee and the right arm behind us. Stay nice and tall. Holding this gentle twist for a moment. And releasing that forward, we're going to take that right foot and step it over top of the left knee and hug that right knee into your chest. Getting a really nice deep stretch on the right hip. Again, taking some deep breaths. I may have said this last week, but part of the warm-up of our yoga stuff is so important because I learned that it increases the blood flow. Just 5 minutes of warm-up increases the blood flow to your muscles by 75%. So that's really helpful for us when we're getting ready to move our bodies into our active portion. So we're going to unfold that leg. We're going to bring it out to the side. We're going to turn this left leg up. And almost like if you had a ball or a cup or something, we're going to make a little rainbow with our leg over top of that spot. Just going back and forth, we're engaging the thigh muscle here.
We're sore after yesterday.
Yeah. Maybe just doing 5 or 6 of these. And then leaving that leg extended out, we're going to fold that knee back down, turn toward that long leg, and then start to walk those hands down. And then breathing deep in here. I'm walking those hands back to center. Fold that leg in. And then again, we're going to take that right hand to the left knee, twisting off to the left hand side, sitting nice and tall, taking a nice deep breath. Again, collecting our thoughts, centering ourselves in this moment. One more deep breath here. Releasing that to the front. This time taking the left foot, stepping that over the right knee. And then hugging that left knee into your chest. And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and release that. This time taking that leg out to the side, turning that right knee up. And if you need to hold on to this for a little support, feel free to do that. And then we're doing those rainbows with the left leg and the left foot. Again, really engaging that thigh. Maybe doing 5 or 6 of these at your own pace. And then leaving that out to the side, folding that knee down, turning to face the long leg, and then walking those hands forward. So for today, our poem comes from Morgan Harper Nichols. And I'm just taking a portion of one of her poems for today because there's a much longer, the poem is much longer, but this section felt like it was appropriate for today. So when you're ready, you're going to walk your hands back to center. We're going to fold both feet in towards the middle, coming into butterfly pose, whichever version you would like. So our poem says for today, for the walls you built to protect yourself gave you a narrow view of the world. They stunted your limbs, and you struggled to breathe. So maybe now is the time to allow light's interruption, pouring in through the cracks, reminding you of meaningful life on the other side. You are seeking safety, but staying behind these self-made walls has never been the way. You need something more to comfort you in brokenness when the pain is tall around you, to remind you that even here, you are infinitely loved. So when you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands back to center. We're going to bring those knees together and then sweep those feet to the side. Onto all fours. We're going to start with a child's pose. So go ahead and put your toes together, your knees wide, and then allow yourself to sink down between your legs. Stretching forward, relaxing down. And then when you're ready, go ahead and pull yourself up to all fours. We're going to take that right leg up parallel to the floor. So we're shifting our weight to the left knee. Right leg behind, but our weight is evenly distributed between our hands and our knee. Our core is pulled in. Our hips are square to the mat. We're continuing to breathe deeply here. Not overarching either way. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and bring that knee in towards your chest. And then as you inhale, push that leg out behind you. And then again, we're going to do 5 or 6 of these. at your own pace. Exhale as you bring the knee in. Inhaling as you take that leg straight out behind you. Maybe doing one more. And this time you're going to sweep that right knee in between your two front hands. So you're bringing it into your chest and then forward between your two front hands, coming into pose, sitting nice and tall, and then leaning forward over top of that bent knee. We're going to stay here for several breaths. We'd like to center your thoughts around our home for today. Maybe there could be a question that you ask yourself about kind of what stage you're in. If there are walls that you feel like you've built up around yourself that maybe need a little bit of light kind of coming through the cracks. Maybe you're in a hopeful place, and so you're seeing more of that light coming through. But centering our thoughts around that light coming through. When you're ready, you can start to work yourself up onto your palms. We're going to push the mat away from us and lift ourselves back to our knees. Taking our knees again as wide as the mat, and then sitting those hips back as we stretch into child's pose once more. Really sinking into this position if you can. Releasing any tension you feel in your hips, in your low back space, and your shoulders. And when you're ready, you can then pull yourself up onto all fours, bringing those hands underneath your shoulders, bringing your knees underneath your hips, and then shifting your weight to the right knee. Go ahead and start to pull that left leg up parallel to the floor. Again, really balancing the rest of your weight across your hands and across your right knee. Be reminded not to open your hip to the side, but to keep your hips parallel to the mat. And drawing that belly button into your spine. Making sure your neck is a natural extension of your spine here. That you're not dropping your head down or arching it up too far. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and bring that knee into your chest. And on your next inhale, take it out behind you. And then following your breath, exhaling on one, inhaling on the other. Do this about 5 times. One more. And then this time, taking that knee to your chest, but then bringing it all the way through, setting the knee down between the two front hands, and then sinking to pigeon pose on the other side. Leaning forward over top of that front knee if it feels comfortable to you. See if you can soften that right hip a little bit. Soften the inner thigh of your left leg. And when you're ready, start to work yourself up onto your palms, pressing the mat away from you, lifting into all fours once more. We're gonna come into our cat-cows here, starting with cow by dropping our belly button down, allowing the tailbone to come up, looking up. So inhale, and then as we exhale, pushing the floor away from us, arching our backs, tucking our chins. Inhaling into cow when you're ready. And then exhaling into cat when you're ready. Again, going at your own pace. Maybe doing one more of these. Coming back into the neutral spine. Go ahead and walk our hands back towards our knees. If you can, you can sit down on top of your ankles. If this is too hard on your knees, feel free to just plop your knees to the side and kind of either take a different position or to do crisscross applesauce in front of you or something like that. That's just fine. And here we're going to start to raise our right arm parallel to the floor. We're going to bend the elbow in, and we're going to twist gently off to the left side, bringing our elbow toward the front, and then coming back out to the side, taking that arm straight out again, and then down. We'll do the other side, so lifting that arm straight up, bringing the hand into the chest with a bent elbow, twisting to the front, and back out to the side, reaching out front. And do that same thing again on the other side. Bending, twisting, twisting back to the front, extending, again, other side, bending, twisting, coming back to the front, extending that arm out, and down. We're going to go ahead and inhale both arms up. And then sweeping those hands down as you lean all the way forward, coming into an alternate position of child's pose here. This still works even if you're in crisscross applesauce. And then inhaling, sweeping those arms back up. See if you can do a little back bend here. And then as you exhale, go all the way forward once more. One more time, inhale all the way up. A little back bend if you can. And then exhale all the way down. You're working yourself back into this kind of sitting position on your knees. We're going to come in and stand on our knees. So you want to start to shift your weight onto your knees. And if you need to roll up your mat to make that more comfortable, you're welcome to do that. You might want to reposition your knees to make sure that you have kind of a good base. So if you need to make those a little bit wider, feel free to do that. We're going to think about mountain pose here. So relaxing the tops of our feet. Thinking again about softening that tailbone down, allowing the belly button to be pulled in, relaxing our shoulders down away from our ears. And then here we're going to do something called bow and arrow pose. So we're going to raise both of our arms out in front of us. And we're going to leave the left arm there, but with our right hand, we're going to pretend like we're pulling back a string. And then we're going to open up that hand as we release to get it back behind us at an angle, and then sweeping down, coming back to the front. So again, pull like you're pulling a bow and arrow, release, open up that palm to the back, and then come on through. So again, let's do maybe 5 or 6 of these at your own pace. Continuing to breathe as you do so. right back up. And then go ahead and bring those arms down. Shake out those arms a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and step forward with the left foot. So again, if you need to have a little bit more cushion underneath the other knee, you're welcome to do that. You can either stay here, or if you want to add a little lunge to it, you can start to shift your weight forward, so that way you're getting a nice stretch along the right hip flexor as well. I think my knee needs a little bit of extra support today, so I'm gonna fold up my sweatshirt and put it under there. You just make it as comfortable as you can for yourself, you know? All right, so we're either in our left leg forward or in our low left leg lunge here. We're gonna take the right hand and bring it palm facing forward. We're gonna angle it back behind us, really stretching in through the front side of that right shoulder. If you need to take this left arm out for a little bit of balance or front in front of you, feel free to do that. We're gonna take this right hand and we're gonna do kind of like a half circle. So all the way up, and you're gonna bring your bicep up by your ear and then angle it back all the way down, bring it down alongside of your leg. And we're gonna do that a couple of times. So bring the arm up, and then bring the arm down. One more time, bring the arm up, and then exhale that arm down. Go ahead and start to shift your weight back. Slide that left leg back next to the other one. Down onto our knees once more. Or no, actually standing on our knees, I'm sorry. Standing on our knees here. Again, thinking about our mountain pose. So our core is engaged, our low back is in a neutral position, our chest is open, the crown of our head is pulled up toward the ceiling. Taking a few breaths here, bringing our minds back to the poem that we read, letting the light in. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and start to sweep both hands up in front. And we're going to start our bow and arrows on this side. So this time we're pulling with the left hand. So we're pulling back to the shoulder, releasing, opening up that palm behind us, and then sweeping down and through. And grabbing and pulling, releasing, and then sweeping down and through. Checking in with our pelvic bone here, even as we do these motions, that they're in a nice neutral position. So we're not overcompensating for our movements as we do this. Maybe one or two more, depending on what's comfortable for you. Continuing to breathe. Coming back to the front. Release those arms down, kind of shaking those out. This time we're stepping forward with our right foot. Again, making that as comfortable as possible for yourself. And you can either stay here, or if you'd like to lunge a little bit further forward, you're welcome to do that. And then here, we're going to take that left palm open to the front, and then pull it back behind us at an angle. We're going to take that arm up and around, bring the bicep by our ear, and then back and down. Bring that arm by our leg, and then again up. Inhaling, and then exhaling down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. And we're going to go ahead and shake out that arm, step that right foot back. Coming to our knees once more. This time we're going to take those hands to the small of our back, opening up our chest, kind of shifting those hips forward, coming into our modified version of camel. Noticing your shoulders. Taking those deep breaths in. And then gently coming up out of that. We're going to go ahead and sit our hips back over top of our heels, stretching our arms all the way forward, underneath child's pose. I'm going to go ahead and read the section of our poem for us one more time. If it feels comfortable to you to stay here in child's pose, feel free to do that. If you like a little bit of movement, you're welcome to inhale, arms up, and do that little back bend, and then exhale, arms down, pulling forward. If that is more comfortable for you too. So this says, for the walls you built to protect yourself gave you a narrow view of the world. They stunted your limbs, and you struggled to breathe. So maybe now is the time to allow light's interruption, pouring in through the cracks, reminding you of meaningful life on the other side. You are seeking safety, but staying behind these self-made walls has never been the way. You need something more to comfort you in brokenness when the pain is tall around you. To remind you that even here, you are infinitely loved. So here we're going to go ahead and pull ourselves up onto all fours. We're going to start to tap our toes. And we're going to move into a downward facing dog. So here, if downward facing dog is not accessible in your body, you're always welcome to just come down into like a puppy dog pose with your hips up high and your arms stretched out, or back into child's pose if that's more comfortable for you. But for those of you who would like, you're going to start to shift your weight onto the balls of your feet, pushing back into downward facing dog. Thinking about really engaging the backside of your shoulders to help push the mat away from you. Thinking about energetically drawing your heels toward the floor, even if they don't touch. Also thinking about keeping just a soft bend in your knees, so we're not blocking our legs out. Strengthening those arms, stretching out the backside of the body. We're going to start to shift our weight to that left foot. We're going to draw that right foot up toward the ceiling for the three-legged dog. And then on your next exhale, you're going to slightly lean forward, coming into more of a plank pose, drawing that right knee into your chest. And then as you inhale, you're going to shoot that leg back straight behind you. This might feel a little bit familiar. It's just a different variation of what we did earlier. So again, if this feels like it's not accessible to you today, then feel free to come back down onto your knees and do the version that we did earlier. Maybe do one more. And then on your next one, we're going to take that knee into our chest and then set the foot down in between those two front hands. And you might have to do this kind of in stages, and that's okay. So now we've got our runner's lunge here. We're going to plant that left hand onto the mat. We're going to reach up with that right arm, almost like if you could grab light, like you're going to grab some light and then pull it down to the mat in front of you. Let's do that a couple of times. So reaching up, grabbing, pulling, and pressing down to the mat. One more time, reaching up, grabbing, pulling down to the mat. This time you're gonna step that right foot back, lean to your left. And then we're gonna shift our hips back, stepping our feet forward slightly, coming back into downward facing dog. Or a variation of it, depending again on what's accessible for you today. So here we're going to start to shift our weight to the right foot, drawing that left foot up behind us. And then as we exhale, we're going to draw that knee into our chest as we shift our weight forward more into a plank position. And then as we inhale, we're going to draw that foot behind us. Going at your own pace. Doing this maybe 5 or 6 times. You might really be feeling it in your arms now. Or maybe you're feeling it somewhere else. Once you've done your 5 or 6, then you're going to go ahead and draw that knee into your chest. And then you're going to set that foot between those 2 front hands. Again, however you want to get there is just fine. If that means you just stand up fully, then feel free to do that. So here we're going to plant that right hand on the mat. We're going to reach up with that left hand, taking our gentle twist, kind of grabbing and then pulling down toward the mat. And then doing that about 3 times. So reaching up, grab and pull down. Last time, reaching up, grab and pull down. And then stepping that left foot back to the right, starting to shift your hips back, coming into downward facing dog. This time, starting to walk those hands back towards your feet. Coming to our first forward fold of the day. And if you would like, you can start to match your breath to movement by inhaling up onto either your fingertips or bringing the palms to your shins, coming into a flat back pose. And then as you exhale, go ahead and slide all the way down into a forward fold, tucking your chin in. Just going back and forth. Maybe doing one more. And taking a slight bend in your knees. We're going to go ahead and move those hands to our knees. And then very slowly round ourselves up. Make sure that you go really slowly. Your head should be the last thing that comes up. We don't want anybody losing consciousness here. Some blood flow issues. All right, so here we're going to take both arms, inhale them up overhead. Bring palms together, exhaling down to heart center. We're going to inhale as we open up those palms toward the front. Bring them back behind us, kind of like we did earlier. We're going to inhale further as we come back up and around. Bring those palms together, again, exhaling down to heart center. And then again, going at your own pace as you open up those palms, taking those hands back behind you as you inhale those arms up. And then exhaling as you pull your palms together, bringing them down to heart center. Go ahead and do several of those at your own pace. Maybe one more all together. into our balancing postures. So if you need to come to a chair or a wall or a table or something like that for extra balance, feel free to do that. We're going to build on to that bow and arrow pose that we did, but we're going to do, I think it's technically a leg extension or something. I don't remember the exact name of it with our bottom bodies here. We're going to start, of course, as always, with our mountain pose. Inhaling deeply. We're going to shift our weight to our right foot, drawing that left knee forward. Once we feel pretty secure here, we're going to raise our arms out in front of us, doing that bow and arrow pose. So we're going to grab that string, pull it back, release, and then sweep through. And if you would like, as you pull it back on the release, you can try to extend that foot forward and then bring it back down. So you're going to pull it back, release, and then sweep through. And you can do this as many times as you would like. I'm going to do it one more time here. And then stepping down back into mountain pose. Shift your weight and shake out the other leg. Okay, so starting again in mountain pose. This time shifting our weight to the left leg. We're going to draw that right knee forward. And again, when we're ready, we're going to go ahead and raise both arms parallel to the floor. Taking that left hand, drawing that bow back, extending that out, and then sweeping through. And again, if you would like, you can pull back, and on the release, you can try to extend that leg forward, drawing it back down as you sweep that arm through. Continue to breathe as you do this. This posture is a little bit more challenging just because of the movement that's involved. One more time. Yeah, usually there is one side that is harder than the other. Stepping out, shaking out those legs. Whew. Good job. Okay, we're going to come back down to the mat. We're going to take our knee forward, foot behind, extend the other leg out in front. So here we're going to turn toward that bent knee if you would like, or if you can. Just again for a very gentle twist. And then turning toward the long leg, and go ahead and fold forward. And rounding yourself up. Again, we're turning toward that bent leg. Sitting nice and tall. And then as we exhale, turn back toward that extended leg and fold forward. Pausing here for a breath or two. When you're ready, you can walk those hands back to center. Turn one more time for that bent leg. And then as you exhale, turn back toward the extended leg, folding forward. Walking those hands back to center. We're going to switch sides. So go ahead and extend the other leg, and then the other one with the knee in front. And again, we often don't have evenness on both sides. So if this feels less accessible to you or vice versa, then feel free to either switch this around so that way your foot is in front and your knees just out to the side or something like that. If that's too hard on your hip, feel free to do that. But turning toward that bent leg, sitting nice and tall. And we're going to turn toward the extended leg, fold forward, Holding this for a breath or two. And rounding ourselves up, turning toward the bed leg, sitting nice and tall. And then exhale, turn toward the extended leg and fold forward. And walking the hands back to center. Last time, turn toward the bed leg. Extend and fold forward. Pausing again for a breath or two. And walking your hands back to center. Go ahead and unfold that other leg. Do a wide open A stance here and then simply fold forward down to wherever is comfortable to you. And I'm going to read our poem for us one more time. It says, "For the walls you built to protect yourself gave you a narrow view of the world. They stunted your limbs and you struggled to breathe. So maybe now is the time to allow light's interruption, pouring in through the cracks, reminding you of meaningful life on the other side. You were seeking safety, but staying behind these self-made walls has never been the way. You need something more to comfort you in brokenness when the pain is tall around you, to remind you that even here, you are infinitely loved." When you're ready, you can start to walk those hands back to center. You can draw those feet in towards each other for butterfly pose. Again, taking whatever version of this is most comfortable to you. And then we're rounding ourselves up. Bringing those knees together. We're going to scoop our legs off to one side so we can round ourselves down to the mat, onto our backs. Drawing those knees into our chest, go ahead and rock back and forth across that low back. When you're ready, you can come back to center, dropping that left foot down, crossing the right ankle over top of the left knee. You can either stay here or you can draw those legs in towards your chest for reclined pigeon pose. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Go ahead and release both feet down to the mat. This time crossing the left foot ankle over top of the right knee. And either you can stay here or draw those legs in towards your chest for reclined pigeon pose on the other side. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release both feet back down to the mat. You can heel toe your feet as wide as the mat and let your knees drop in toward the center. Or you can heel toe your feet together, allowing those knees to drop down toward the mat. Or if it's more comfortable for you to extend one leg down at a time, all the way into our final relaxation position, you're welcome to do that too. Take a position that's comfortable for you. And we'll go ahead and take a few moments of silence here. Again, to reflect on the poem that we read and on this idea of letting the light in. start to bring your awareness back to this moment. If you'd like to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers if you're to do that. You rotate your wrists. First one direction, and then the other direction. Turn to one side. Gently push yourself up into a seated position. And then let me go ahead and pray for us. God, thank you that you always meet us where we're at. Whether it's in moments of self-isolation or moments of pain and brokenness, or whether we're feeling completely filled up and feeling like we have lots to give out. God, wherever we are, whether it's feeling hopeful or feeling despair today, we ask that your light would be let in, that it would be filling us so much that it comes to overflow. God, would you give us a glimmer of your light? We love you and it's in you we pray.
Everybody's back on track.
Yeah, that's right.